Hi, everyone. This is Mrs. King. It's so good to see you. So, we're going to wrap up addition today and we're going to work on subtraction. I hope you've been enjoying this beautiful weekend and this beautiful weather, and you're ready to put your mathematician hat on and rock some math. So, here we go. All right, last week we reviewed what it means to add, and we talked about commutative. Can you say that word with me, mathematicians? Ready? Commutative. And that means if we have numbers like 2 plus 3, we know if we put them together, it equals 5. If we switch spots and we say 3 plus 2, we know that also equals 5 because addition is commutative, or it can trade spots. And there was our example. We worked on adding 0, and we knew that when you add 0 to a number, then the number stays the same. Say it with me. Add 0 to a number and the number stays the same. Good work. So we practiced 8 plus 0 equals 8 and 0 plus 6 equals 6. So it doesn't really matter whether your 0 is in the second spot or the first spot. When you add 0 to a number, your number stays the same. And then we also practiced adding 1. When you add, you count up. When you add, you count up. So we're always getting bigger when we add. And we know if we add one number, all we're doing is counting on one number. So if we start with 7 and it's 7 plus 1, our answer is going to be 8. If our answer is, if our number is 4 that we're starting with and we add 1, our new number is going to be 5 because we just go one more. Like when we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, your next number is 5. Good work, mathematicians. So today we're going to work on something a little bit different. So I'm going to move our anchor chart and we're going to be working on subtraction. I'm going to fold that right over so we can refer to it later if we want to. And we're going to be working on subtraction. And when we subtract, the sign looks like that, right? It's that minus sign. And that means take away. That could mean counting back. We talk about it in different ways. So I'm going to put up here. Oh, that marker's not doing so good, is it? Whenever I'm doing these videos, I'm finding all kinds of markers that don't work. So I end up throwing a whole bunch away after each of our videos. Let me see if I can get that to stay again. Okay. So we're going to be working on subtraction today. And when we work on subtraction, we want to make sure that we remember that we're counting down or taking away. So we always want to make sure we remember that when we're counting down or taking away, we're getting smaller. So what we're practicing today is subtraction or taking away. Sometimes people think about it like you're counting back. So I know when you're working, you might have talked about it in different ways in your classrooms. We're going to practice some ways to get together today, and we're going to work on some new ones next week. So here's what this looks like. Subtraction, if we practice subtraction, we might, let me lower this a little bit. I know, the whole thing's probably going to come down again. What's happening back there? Oh, it's stuck on the back, that's why. Okay, so when we practice subtraction, we know, let's try, I'm going to write down take away. And that might help us. I don't know what's happening today. There we go. I'll have to hold it a little bit differently. You can kind of see that. I wrote take away. Let me try and scoot our camera a little bit closer. Is that a little bit better? And we know that it means take away. So we're going to get smaller. So we're going to practice a couple strategies today. And one of those strategies is going to be to count. I'm going to put a dot over here. So that shows us what strategy we're working on. And this one is going to be count on. So when we're subtracting, we can work on a strategy called counting on. So let me show you what I mean. If I have, let's see what I have under here. All right, I'm going to use some dots. Remember when we used our dots with our paddles? So I'm going to use some of those dots to help us a little bit. If I have 2, 3, 4, and 5 red dots. Can you see them over there? If I had 5 red dots and I wanted to take away 2, so my number sentence might look like this. 5 minus 2 or 5 take away 2, I might do this. I might start at 2 and count on. So I would say 2, 3, 4, 5. And what would my answer be? 3. So this is what I started with. This was my whole. My answer would be 3 because I counted on from 2, which is our lowest number. So I'm going to put a little bit of a reminder right here by this, and I'm going to write start at 2. So we would say 2, 3, 4, 5. We said 3 numbers. Our answer is 3. So we could count on. Another strategy is this one's my favorite. Okay, another strategy is counting back. And this one's my favorite because listen, subtract, you count back. Subtract, you count back. That's such a good way to help us remember. My brain loves those kind of things to help me remember, so I don't have to think too hard, right? Subtract, you count back. So if we start at 5, we're going to count back and stop on 2. So I'm going to use those same numbers. 5 minus 2 equals, there's our number sentence, our same one. And then if you look over here, we still have our 5 dots, okay? So we would start at 5, and then we would count back. 5, 4, whoops, I'm erasing that, aren't I? Here, let's do it this way. If we have 5 fingers, and I'll leave our hole right here, okay? If we have 5 fingers, and then we count back and stop at 2, ready? So we'd say 5, 4, 3, and where are we at? We stopped at 2, right? So if we subtract 2, what would our answer be? How many fingers do I, whoops, that's a bad way to show you. How many fingers do I have down? I have 1, 2, 3 fingers down, right? So you can count back that way too. I like to count back because I think it's a little bit easier. You don't have to remember to start at that lower number. All you do is count back. So you'd start with 5, 5, 4, 3, and then we land on 2. Another way you can do it is to take 5 markers like this, and you would say, if you have 5 and you're going to take away 2, 1, 2. That's it. So there's lots of ways to subtract. There are so many ways to subtract. So I want you to try this out at home. You can take any kind of objects. You could take, ooh, don't pick your mom's flowers, though, unless she says it's okay. You could take dirty socks, and you could try subtraction. If you start with 5 socks and you take away 3 socks, how many socks are you going to have left? If you, maybe you could do it with markers. Maybe you could do it with spoons out of your drawer. I want you to test this out and see how you do. I'm going to give you 3 number sentences. Are you ready? And you can test these out before next week. I want you to try 8 minus 4. I'm going to put our equal sign because that's finishing our number sentence. I want you to try 7 minus 5. And the last one I want you to try is 6 minus 2. So let's review this a little bit. Well, you can either count on or you can count back. And when I wrote count back, I actually should have said you can do it a couple ways. You can either start at 5, 5, 4, 3, and count back like that. Or actually, there's another strategy, and it's just taking away. It's just taking away. So if I would take away 2. So I could have put another strategy there too, which is take away. All right, so you can pause the video whenever you want so that you can look back at those strategies. And remember, subtract, you count back. Subtract, you count back. So is your answer going to be bigger or smaller, mathematicians? Ooh, good work. I heard you. It is smaller. Nice work. So test these out. See how you do. And then you can try to quiz your families. And I bet you can knock their socks off. I love you all.